Hey folks, nice to see you. Um, okay, let's get started. I'm just making sure that I am live. And today I want to talk to you guys about um, something that's actually been super powerful for me in growing my business, and that I've noticed has been extremely powerful to my clients. And actually, it's probably one of the main thing that shifted things for me. So I definitely want to have that available
To
for
my
you.
clients.
Oh, let me remove the sound. I want to be able to see comments if they show up. Okay, so soulful success. In many ways, it is about design. It's about tapping into your own what's possible for you, your own field of infinite possibility, and it's also about tapping into what's possible for your clients, and then designing a business, designing offers, amazing offers that are rooted in that field of possibility. When I was thinking, like, a lot of my clients always ask me, like, hey, what does it take? What shifted things for you? For those of you who don't know me, I've been a therapist, a healer, a coach for over 15 years, probably closer to 20 years at this point. And my business was okay, it was all right, but it wasn't really growing. I was undercharging. I didn't have all the clients I wanted. Nothing was moving or expanding in the way I felt should be happening. And I didn't know what to do to get things moving. And interestingly enough, it didn't matter what I did. It's almost like I would keep coming back to like the habitual status quo. So I started, like doing different things. And when I was thinking back, like what did shift things for me and what does shift things for my clients? When I think of my clients who are extremely successful, they work with me, they're here, or they've got nothing, they got no offer, no business, or they're just starting out and they work with me for, a few months and suddenly they're in a totally different place. Their business is completely different. They're completely different. What creates that? When I looked into that, what I discovered that beyond the basic business and strategic and even mindset stuff that we need to get through, what was at the foundation of this success was an ability to tune into what is possible and allow that to be possible for us. Because we all know that certain things are possible, right? Like we all see people out there doing things. The problem is that we can't tune into what is actually possible for us. And we can't believe that what is possible out there would actually be possible for us. So until we can tap into that, we can figure out what it is that we're destined to do, what it is that, is there for us to claim at our highest potential, then it's really difficult to create it. It's really difficult to make it happen. It's difficult to become who we need to become to make it happen. So before I get into the meat of it, just in case you guys don't see the end of it, I just want to remind you, and those of you who've been on these lives a few times know this, but if you know that you're ready to grow a transformational business, if you know that you're ready to put together offers that transform lives and honor your soul and create financial freedom for yourself, then reach out to me. Let's brainstorm. Just put hashtag brainstorm in the comment or send me a direct message on Messenger. I offer free Soulful Success breakthrough sessions so that we can kind of look at what your gifts truly are, where you might be stuck, what might be holding you back, and what are some things, some steps, and some shifts you can make right away to start seeing results as quickly as possible. So yeah, these sessions are free. They're my offering to you for people who are ready to get going. It's a way of getting to know me and seeing how I work. And I love doing them. And as I'm going to teach you in here, one of the things I can do in these sessions is I can actually start seeing what's possible for you, and start giving you a sense of that for yourself. So now let's get back to the meat of it. So when we think about infinite possibility, When a client decides to work with me, it's usually for that. It's usually because in that first conversation, I get a sense of what's actually possible for them. I get a sense of what they're destined to do. And I actually start helping them clarify and see that vision for themselves. Because, as I was stating earlier, if you can't see it, if you can't sense it, if you can't feel it, you can't create it. And so a lot of us have this weird little sense in the back of us that we're meant for more, that there's more we could offer, there's more we could give, there's more we could share, there's more we could get, there's more we could receive in exchange for that. But we don't actually quite know how to do that. And we can't tune into it. If you can't tune into it, you can't create it. So, when we're creating a magnetizing offer, a life-changing offer for clients or a business, it's because we are tuning into not only what is possible for us, but we're also tuning into what's possible for our clients, what's possible for them. So that was my path, like as I struggled to actually make a really decent living and work with as many clients as I wanted to. Um, I had to actually claim and tune into what was possible for me. And then as I did that, as I started to really sense what I was destined to do, what was possible for me, who I could become, the kind of courage, the kind of boldness, the kind of presence that was possible for me beyond shame, beyond confusion, beyond frustration, beyond anything that was getting in the way, then I could start seeing that in others. So, you know, that is part of it, like when you start connecting to what is possible for you, when you start connecting to who you could become, then you actually start seeing what you could create from that place of becoming. And you start being able to see what your clients could create. And this is what being a transformational leader is. It's essentially holding on to possibilities for others. Transformational leaders, like amazing therapists, amazing coaches, amazing healers, that's what they do. They see what is possible at the highest potential and they see a path towards that. And they're able to actually give their client a taste and a roadmap to that. And the only reason they're able to do it is because they've been able to do it for themselves. So when I was able to tune in to that something in me that was already clear, already confident, already whole, already knowing and wise, then I could start creating that. I could start seeing what was aligned. I could start seeing what was destined in some ways, and everything shifted. So that's the first thing I do in my LEAP program. In my LEAP program, I essentially help people tune into what is possible for them first at an individual basis, who they could become. I give them a process to connect to their sovereign self in some ways and tune into who they are at their highest level. And from that place, then they start seeing what they could create and they start holding it. And then I provide essentially the roadmap and the support. Somebody's asking, what's my LEAP program? So LEAP actually stands for Liberated, Empowered, Aligned, and Well Paid. It's essentially an inner work and an outer work program where I help people start where they're at and totally expand and elevate usually their business, create an irresistible offer, and become the person they need to be absolutely successful and absolutely anchored in their own gifts and their own power so they can promote, they can position themselves, they can package in a way that's powerful. So this is what I want to ask you. Imagine who you could be and what you could do. So if you were fully unleashed, fully anchored in your own highest sovereignty, if you were absolutely trusting in your worth, in the value you offer, if you trusted completely the value of your gifts, the value of the transformation you offer people and what you can do for them and how you can change their lives, if you were totally unapologetic and operated from this place of deep calm, deep presence, deep power, and certainty, then how would you show up? What would become possible for you? What would you create? What kind of offer, what kind of service, what kind of gifts would come out of that, that you would offer people, the world? So that is essentially the trick. That's where we have to start. We have to start in really sensing what is possible for us and who we could become, who we're destined to become. Secondly, once you have that for yourself, then you start being able to see it everywhere else. You start being able to see it, the potential, the possibilities. You start being able to see that in your friends. You start being able to see that in your family members. You start even being able to see that for the world as a collective. Like, what would it be if people were like this? Or this is what I think we could become as a society. But then most personally for you and for your business is you start actually being able to see it in your clients. And that is, this is what, when we get into the idea of how do you create a magnetizing, irresistible, amazing offer for your people. That's where it starts, because as you tapped into what's possible for you beyond everything that holds you back and everything that tells you you're not good enough, and you start seeing what's possible out there, then as you're tuning into what's possible, the offer comes out of that. You start being able to tune into the field of absolute infinite possibilities for your client. You start to see what's absolutely possible for them and what they need from you to actually help them achieve that, to help them get them there. So an amazing offer is, as you tune into that and as you tap into that vision, you start to hold it for them. You start to provide a simple and effective way for them to get there. And you start to see who they are destined to become. Just like you saw who you were destined to become yourself, you start seeing who they're destined to become, and you start seeing what they're destined to create and how you can help them get there. Because obviously, to just see what they're destined to become and what they're meant to create and see what's possible is great, but you also have to know how you can support them. And everybody, by the way, is going to support in different ways. Some people, you're going to support them with accountability. Some of you are going to support your clients with information and knowledge and some very strategic pieces that they have to have in place, whether it is losing weight, whether it is, healing their insomnia, whether it is getting, finding that relationship that they've been dreaming of, whether it is getting the fire back on in the bedroom with their partners, or getting their kids to, be successful at school without struggle. Whatever it is that you help people do, your job essentially is to tune into what's possible for them and to figure out how to hold that vision and get them to taste that vision, and then find a way that you can support them to that vision. So you have to see what is possible. You have to tap into what is possible for them and make sure that it is aligned. And you have to help them find out what's in the way. That's another thing of an amazing offer, is you have the vision, you have the pathway to the vision, and you're also clear at what's keeping you stuck. What holds you back? When I work with people in my LEAP program, that's a huge part. Like one of the first thing I do, so we have the vision, we have tuning into that sovereign self, that soulful self, that's going to show us the way, that guidance, that's going to show us the way. But I also have another part of it, which is I send them an assessment that has like over 150 different limiting beliefs and blocks that keep us stuck. And then I get to see exactly where they're stuck, what they're believing that's going to keep them small, that's going to keep them struggling, that's going to keep them hiding out. So an amazing offer has the vision, sees the vision, allows their client to taste and see that vision. It has a clear path forward, a system in place to help people get to that vision. And it also has a process of helping people remove everything that's in the way, everything that's in the way of love, everything that's in the way of abundance, everything that's in the way of taking bold, courageous action, anything that's in the way of getting there to that point that they want. Um, so I'm looking at my notes, seeing where I need to go with it. So the first step is to tap into your own infinite potential as a human being. You can't tap into that for others until you've tapped into it for yourself. And when you do that, you become able to show up in ways that you never thought you could. So I'll give you an example from me, and I've used this example quite a bit in these lives. Um, I've been working with people one-on-one for over 15 years. I love doing that. What I don't love is I don't love crowds, and I don't love being in front of an audience of some sort. Something about that never felt quite safe for me. And going live, like when I started to pivot my work from just my own community in Boulder, Colorado, to actually, hey, I want to reach more people. I have something to share. I want to offer my work in a wider way. And one of the ways to do that is to get on social media. Well, social media is an audience. You don't know who's gonna. I have no idea to some degree who's watching this live right now and who will see the replay. And I hated that. I hated going lives. When I say I hated it, sweats, nausea, panic, the whole gamut. And what I had decided was I don't like doing groups. I'm not good at doing groups. I'm not good at crowds. So I'm going to keep working one-on-one. And what happened is I started to tune into that infinite potential. I started to realize that this thing about crowds, this thing about groups, is something that was true for me at that level, but it wasn't true for me at a highest potential. I'm seeing a few people saying hi. Hey from Oregon, hey from Alabama. So I can't see who you are because you haven't given StreamYard the right to to put your name in there, but I appreciate you being here. And I'll go back and look at the comments and I'll see who you were and say hi back more personally than this. But when I started to tune into what was possible for me at that highest level, suddenly I started being able to do this. I don't love it, I don't know that I will ever love it, but it's actually not that bad. It's not hard. Um, And now, there's a thought happening in me about a group program, about a way to bring my process to people in a group setting where I could help more people, I could serve more people, I could create a community around this work. I could help people find support with each other about designing amazing transformational business and finding their highest potential within themselves, and doing all of that at a way that is more affordable for those who can't work with me one-on-one. That thought was never there before, and now it's an idea. I'm starting to plan it, and I have a feeling it'll be the baby that will come out in 2022. All of that arose out of me being able to tap into what is possible for me at the highest level. So that's where it starts, is you have to sense of what is possible for you. And then you have to trust that when you start to tap into that, your offer, your magnetizing offer, your irresistible offer will emerge out of that, because you will be able to tune into what is possible for your clients and what it is that they want. So you almost have to be, part of your job in some way when you're working with people is oftentimes you're going to see the vision, you're going to see the potential, you're going to see the possibility before they can see it for themselves. Your job is to hold it for them. Your job is to help them vision it. Your job is to believe in that vision for them until they can see it, they can believing it for themselves, and until they can claim it. Because that's the last thing. First we see something, then we believe it's possible for us, and then we claim. Then we get into action, we start doing in a way that actually our vision starts to become a reality. So you almost have to be at that level. You have to be like a radar that's looking for possibility, that's welcoming possibility, that's allowing possibility, and that's living up. Once you get a taste of that possibility, then it's your job. It's your right, but it's your responsibility to start to live up to that possibility. Because I think that's the way the world works, right? Is we can see something, but it's like life will give us, as we become open to receive, life will give us more and more of what is possible. We'll start seeing it, we'll start tuning into it, we'll start touching it, but then we have to act on it. It's like a dance with life. Life gives it to you, it says, hey, this is possible for you. At first you're like, really? And then you say, well, hey, maybe. Okay. Yeah, I want that. I want that. I think it is possible for me. All right, so that's the seeing it, that's the starting to believe in it, and then we have to claim it. And the claiming it is the action. The claiming it is starting to figure out that highest self, that most sovereign self. What does she do? What does he do? How does one feel and live? And what are the actions that are essentially going to allow us to live that possibility? And that's what you do in your offer, by the way. In your offer, you allow your clients to touch into their infinite possibilities, their potential, and then you start to figure out what it is that they need to do. What are the actions they need to take? What are the steps they need to get to be able to reach that potential? And what's in the way? And how do I help them dissolve what's in the way? And then you have the recipe for an amazing, irresistible offer, because who doesn't want that? So, that's the recap in some ways, is be a radar, look for possibility in yourself, let it be possible for you, look for possibilities in your clients, build an offer that honors that possibility and essentially creates a roadmap to that possibility, that makes it easy for them, that makes it clear for them, that has the support. You're there to support them in that process. And that's it. Like that's the whole foundation of soulful success. So, if you know that you're here to transform lives, if you're not sure how to become who you need to be, if you're not sure what you need to do today to start creating that, to start embodying that sovereign self within you and start really seeing and sensing and tasting the possibilities of what's here for you. And if you're not quite sure how to create a business that really honors your soul and is aligned with your dreams, and how to package, promote, position your gifts, your expertise, your experience, because we all have that, by the way. We all have gifts. We all have amazing experiences that we've had through our lives, and we all have expertise in something or another. That's what your offer becomes. Your offer is rooted in your gifts. It's rooted in your experience, your personal experience, your client's experience, and it is rooted in your expertise. So if you're not quite sure how to create that or how to take it to the next level, maybe you have an offer, but it's not quite there and you want the next level offer, then let's get on a call. Let's get together. Let's see if we're a right fit to work together. I offer those free Soulful Success breakthrough calls where we'll brainstorm what's possible for you. We'll brainstorm maybe where the disconnect is, what's getting in your way at this point, and we'll see what needs to shift and what are a few things you can start doing right away to get some results and to start moving things forward. And then if it feels right, and if it feels right at the end, then we can talk about maybe working more and how to really take that possibility that you're sensing and bring it forth into reality. So if you'd like to take me up on that, if you'd like to just sit with me for an hour and brainstorm and figure out, where your next level is and how to get there, then just type hashtag brainstorm in the comments, and I'll go back and I'll connect with you, or send me a direct message on Messenger, and then we'll get you set up so that you can really start bringing your brilliance forward and attracting the right people to work with you and all of that without a ton of struggle, a ton of hustle, overwhelm, or any of that. It has been lovely to see you all. Hey, Sharon from Seattle. And yeah, I think I've answered whatever little comments were here. And by the way, if you have questions and you're seeing this in the replay, say hashtag replay, say hello, and feel free to ask questions. I go back and look at the comments in these lives. All right, guys, have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. You're very welcome. And I will talk to you soon. I'll try to do another. I did last week, I did a Soulful Success Q&A where I kind of answer a question that somebody brought up. Would you be able to assist with messaging? So I'm not sure what you mean in terms of finding your right message. Absolutely. That's a huge part of what I do, like finding what the right words, what the right way to speak of your offer. I mean, in all fairness, anything about an offer is about messaging, right? Like, because that's the first thing your clients see. Your clients sense your message. And what I would say is our whole business is messaging. Our whole business is really tapping into that possibility, tapping into our passion, and being able to find the right words to describe it. There's all this stuff about how you have to walk your talk, but you actually also have to be able to talk your walk. So absolutely, if you need help with messaging, I can help you with messaging. Thanks, Sharon. Sharon and I speak a lot about messaging and pricing. It's a whole thing, obviously. But yeah, feel free, if you have questions, reach out, ask me. I'm here. I'm available. I love to answer questions. I love to talk about this stuff. It's exciting. All right, guys, I've been on here almost half an hour. You have lives. I have a life, sort of, most of the time. And I'll talk to you soon.